Hello, Serge here for the Backyard Driving Range. All right, we had a question come in, and this one came in from RPCP11. Okay, RPCP. All right, 11. All right, and he starts off by saying, recently went to the John Deere Classic and watched DJ on the driving range. On the backswing, he brings the club a little more inside than I thought we should. He has a great three-quarter turn and stood the club straight up. However, after he struck the ball, he would immediately bring the club inside and over his shoulders to the finish. I thought that we should strike the ball and go down the line or swing out and then finish over the shoulder. What is correct? Okay, RPCP11, and some of what you saw was overall fairly correct. As anybody that's been on site for a while knows that DJ is making overall a peak performance golf swing, but he's for a number of years now he has expanded the, shall we say, the parameters of what the swing should be. He's been good with his irons as far as three-quarters go, but once he kind of gets to his hybrids and his fairway woods, and especially his driver, he's been going to parallel, all right, and parallel, and when he goes there, he turns too much. So DJ has been struggling with too long a backswing, especially with his driver, and too much turn. Conversely, if one has too much turn, let me get a toe line down here. I'm going to talk about it from this angle here. All right, I'll try to aim this at the target, at the flag. I mean, what am I saying? The flag. I'm going to go at the camera. Okay. That's got to be lined up because I can't see the camera. So, if I put a parallel line down here with that for my toes, what DJ's been tending to do is he takes the club back. Now, right off the bat, we all know that DJ, a lot of people seem to think that he really has a lot of rotation with his hands in the takeaway. Yes, because he kind of starts, not kind of, he starts his golf swing with the club pointed more at the belt buckle, which, as you know, I disagree with that, because that automatically kind of gives us a cupped wrist. And therefore, if I started at this line right here, let me make sure, I think I just clipped that. I might have knocked it off. Nope, it's okay. If I start in line with this, I now have to get it over my toe line. I have to make basically about a 90-degree rotation. But if we started with the left hip like I teach, now I got what? I've already got about 20-25 degrees or more rotation there. So I'm already, shall we say, pre-rotated, and I got less to do. So now if you start here in the same, you got less of an amount of time and less of amount of the backswing to get it rotated. So that means you're going to have to do it. You got to do more of it, so you got to do it faster, and that can lead to more timing issues, especially in your takeaway. And if you're rotating too much, that can also lead to what? Once I get here, and because I got to do more of it, it's much easier to get the club a little deep, start getting it deeper, because I moved away faster and had to do it in a shorter amount of time. So I got that more speed and more momentum and that more rotation, which could just slightly keep rotating me a little deep. And then especially with the longer clubs that gets to parallel, he's definitely deep inside the sacred burial ground. So you know that for every action, which if I'm deep over here, when I come back, I'm very likely going to go a little bit deep over here on that side. Okay? So all these little problems just keep compounding up on themselves. So anybody that's followed DJ or that have been on his site for a number of years knows that those have been his two biggest problems. And I've been working through them with them, and it's amazing how many times I'd go work with him and back in Mount Pleasant and sometimes out on tour, and it'd be good, pretty good on those days, and the next thing you know, it's long. And he just wasn't keeping it. So I kind of dropped the hammer on him about a month or two ago, and I just said, D, this is getting crazy. I said, I come out here and I'm just basically wasting my time, man. I said, you got to get this stuff down. It ain't working. I mean, you got to apply yourself. You had to swing for years and years and years. It's only in the last 4 or 5 years you got laxed with it. I said, it's just a case of applying it. The swing's in your brain. Just go dig deep in there and find it. But I think the whole thing comes down to just saying, that's it. I'm going to do three-quarters, and that's it. It is not going to get. It's not going to get long. And if it doesn't get long, it's not going to be deep. And if it's not deep in the backswing, and it's not going to very likely go deep on this side. And I'll tell you a little example of this one time. I'm working with him, and I'm trying to shorten the swing on this side naturally and get it 3/4, and he's coming over here and he's finishing wide. Okay? Now, I get into that problem myself when I keep wearing when I wear these, as you know, when I'm really out in the sun. Fortunately today there's not a whole lot of sun here right now, which is why I can actually stand here without my sunglasses and be talking, because we're a little overcast, which is nice. It's keeping the temperature down. But the key is that I go wide, because when I was wearing those caps that had a big 3/8 or more brim, and I come over the top like this, and I pull it up, and when I recoil to relax, my hat's falling off all the time. And sometimes when it falls off and the wind's blowing like that way or whatever way, and it catches your hat, you know how far you can sometimes have to go running to catch those hats. So I got finishing wide. When I finally realized it, now what I do is if I play with those big hats, I take them off and put it on the ground for every swing, especially with drivers. All right, and then I put the hat immediately back on to keep my face covered, keep the sun off my face, even though I still put sunscreen on it. So what DJ was doing was he would finish over here and he'd get up over here, and I'd say, DJ, you're too wide. So he would do this. He was coming up and he's coming back this way. I said, you're still too wide. And he said, Dad, if I come in any closer, I'm going to stick my thumb in my ear. I said, DJ, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, again, if he goes wide and he comes back here, see where the club's coming? It's from there coming this way. The club is supposed to come not from out there back this way. It's supposed to go straight down the line, up and over. All right? We hit the ball, we keep the club, we never get inside, we go straight down the line into the forward catcher's mitt and then up the tree and finish here, where your hand's supposed to be coming over, where the back of your right hand for a right-hander, left hand for a lefty, is supposed to be coming up and almost touching your ear. All right? Straight up and down. Now where's my thumb? My thumb is down over my shoulder, not coming back into my shoulder this way, okay? And so I said, that's precisely it. You're still wide. You have to come straight down and up. If I put myself in the cactus position, look where it is, especially if I get here. So if I come and put this hand right here and they just fold this way, look where it's coming. That's the nice tight finish. That's what's keeping the club on, square and solid. That's in the mitt and up the tree. So I'm happy to say that DJ has really worked hard and really diligent, and now for the last 3 times I've been with him, including I went up to the Canadian Open with him and spent 2 days there, and I saw him at Reno, and the swing's really holding up. The thing that's holding him back right now, and if you go and check the stats, I think he's been like in the top 10 on either driving or greens and reg, and I think overall in his overall ball striking he was 14th or something, or even lower than that. I mean, the ball striking is really coming back, but the thing that's been killing him is his putting. He's just missing way too many putts 5 feet and inside. And I mean, if you miss those, you're not gonna win on your local bets with your buddies at home. Never mind on the PGA Tour. But we're working on that. And again, he did some stuff on his own. He changed his setup. He was clawing it for a long time. He went back to regular grip, and he's gotten a little bit wider with his feet, and now he's into more. He's trying to get his hands out of it. He was getting a little handsy. He didn't have a consistency of the club back and through, moving consistently. He had some wavering in it, and he did that one on his own. When I saw him, I just absolutely loved it. Dave Seaman, one of our swing surgeon teachers, is a great putter, and he saw him at Reno, and he liked what he was doing, and then I sent him a couple of videos of the other one, and he loved it, and I think DJ's saying right now, every time I talk to him, he's putting a lot better. But the proof of the pudding will be in the tasting, and the tasting will be the next time he tees it up in a PGA Tour event or wherever he plays in a tournament, and makes it work. It's got to first start working on when he's playing his practice rounds and everything else, and but under competition we'll do it. But right now, I think his swing is solid. It's where I've been looking for. It's the best I actually think right now he's swinging the best he's ever been since he's a pro, and tie that in with this putting, I think could be he might have finally hit the nail on the head, and got that down straight with his setup and his stroke, which again comes back to setup determines the motion, and I think we're going to start seeing that DJ will start shooting some lower scores again, and get his putting to match his ball striking, and then he'll be back. He should be hopefully back in making cuts and shooting low scores, getting in the top 10s and winning tournaments again. So again, I know you've all seen that he's been a little out of sync, or a lot out of sorts, and it took a while, but I think we got him back, and hopefully he's going to stay there. All right, so good question, good observations about DJ swing, and I explained to you why he had those, and what it took to get rid of it was to just get back to good old peak performance golf swing, set up and swing parameters, the rules. All right, and just do it right. So remember, you hit a bad shot, and you ask yourself, what I do wrong? The answer is, who cares? Do the next one right. Get back in a good setup and good swing, and you'll be hitting the ball much more consistent, much more solid straight, and shooting those lower scores. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.